Hello everybody, and welcome back to a bit of an experimental video. Now I have here 3 items of new track. I have a brand new Hornby point. You can see it's brand new. I don't know how close we can get to the frog, but it's fresh, no wear on that at all. And we have a similarly new, let's see if I can show on the light, Peco point. Again, no wear, not been used. And this little section, short section of a shallow curve, just came out of the Hornby box. Again, brand new. And that is a extremely powerful electronic microscope that I can use on a computer. Now if I just show here, there's it looking at the track, you see. But I'm not going to film the screen with the camera, I'm going to actually use that to look at the track directly. And that is one of the Peco Track Rubbers. And the reason for this video is the continuing discussion on how damaging Peco Track Rubbers are to track when you clean them. So what I'm going to do, and you'll have to have a degree of trust, is I'm going to look at each set of track. We're going to look at it as it is before anything's run on it and any cleaning has taken place, and then I'm going to give it a good clean, and perhaps I'll show you that on camera, and then we'll look at it again and see if there's any difference. So here we are looking at the short curve section, track number 1, and what's quite amazing is how pitted and how many scratches a brand new piece of track has on it. We're almost looking at the grain of the metal itself. The reason for the low resolution is that the microscope only shoots at 640 by 480, so that's like stepping back 20 years for video history. Right, we're now moving on to the Hornby point. There's the frog, and you can see there's already scratches and marks on the track, and this is just from being produced in the factory, I suppose. Quite a few there. Check rail itself, the moving frog looks quite good. The stock rails, as you can see, looks like someone's already gone across them, but you wouldn't notice. They're silky smooth to touch. Yep, so that's the Peco. Sorry, that was a Peco piece. Now we're looking at the Hornby. Perhaps slightly smoother. Very hard to move this magnifying this microscope without jumping out of shot. So some quite bad bits just there. If we go back, I'm just focusing it there. Again, you can see the grain of the metal itself. Look at that notch there. This is brand new track. And that's the Hornby point. Okay guys, so I've just done the close-ups. We first of all looked at the little short curve, then the Peco point, and then the Hornby point, and I actually flipped them over so you could see what I was looking at. So now I'm going to give them a clean with the track rubber. It's quite difficult to film and do the cleaning, so you just have to take my word for what I'm doing. I think you can see that though. So I'm going to use the track rubber in the way that I normally would. So we're not scrubbing away madly, but nonetheless I'm giving it a go. So that's a little bit of track, a little short piece. Now I want to do the Peco point. I'm going to concentrate from the frog onwards really. Do it all in one flat hit. There we go, not scrubbing away madly. And then lastly, the Hornby point. And again, from the frog upwards really. So looking at those big stop rails. So you can hear how much pressure I'm putting on. It's probably more than I would do. We've got a little light dusting of the bits coming off it. So I am going to give them a wipe over now with a cloth and some IPA. because you wouldn't leave the little bits of track rubber on your track anyway. So here we go after the clean. Now I think those scratches were there at the start, but look, this is track piece of 1, and to me I can't see much difference. If anything, it may have smoothed it off in places. Again, you can just see the grain of the metal itself. Onto the Peco point. Sorry about the flicking around again. It looks alright to me. That's the light cleaning. A few hairs now from the cloth where I cleaned with IPA. Those scratches were definitely there before. Now onto the Hornby point. Probably gone down the wrong rail there. There we go, that's better. Get it in focus. So to me, it doesn't look a lot different having been cleaned in the normal way. My track downstairs looks exactly the same, to be honest. Okay, so I've just used the microscope after the cleaning with the track rubber, and we'll have a look, compare differences. Now what I'm going to do now, if I can, is I'm going to really scrub hard on the little short section. Now you can see the difference. Really hard scrub, and give it a little wipe over again just to take off the deposits. And now we're going to use this again to have another look. So how does it look after that really hard scrub? Well, there are a few tiny little lines now, but overall it's not terrible. Difficult to remember if they may have been there in the first place, but you know, I don't think it's going to do any harm. As I say, it might actually smooth off some little imperfections that are already there. Definitely won't be making it easier for the dirt to stick to it, which I think is what people are concerned with. So as the title says, this is before and after. So this is track piece 1, the little short curve before. Try and keep that in your mind. Quite a few imperfections already. And then after. Right, track piece 2 before. You saw those lines, don't forget those lines already. It's vertical ones. And then we're looking after. Again, mostly it's just the grain of the metal itself. Right, track piece 3, this is the Hornby point before. Remember that big notch from before? And then after again. Right, now before and after for the hard scrub. So this is before, just to remind you. And then coming up after a really hard scrub with the rubber. So it is possible there are one or two, and they're less than hair. They're about the same thickness as the grain of the metal itself. Hope that was interesting.